Hi, welcome back to Tom's Life. Today's Sunday special, it's hot and sour soup. The ingredients you need are 1 chicken breast, 1 pork, 1 onion, 1 carrot, 2 mushrooms, 5 mixed chillies, 1 piece of ginger, half a cabbage, beansprouts, 1 stock cube, 2 mushrooms, corn flour, Worcestershire sauce, dark soy sauce, caster sugar and ground black pepper, and also 1 lemon. First step to do is to prep all your ingredients. I'm going to start off with the raw meat. First step is to prep your chicken. You first chop it in half. And you want to finely dice it into little pieces. Using your sharp knife. Bring them all together and just chop them down the middle. Always be careful with your sharp knife, you don't cut yourself. You should have nice little pieces like that. Then you place them in the bowl. And then you do your other half of your chicken. Next step is to prep your pork. You first chop it down the middle. Using your sharp knife. Be careful you don't cut your fingers. And you want to finely dice the pork like you did the chicken. Bring it together. And you finally dice it. Always be careful with your fingers, you don't cut themselves on your sharp knife. So always move the knife away after when you have cut it. And you want nice little pieces like that. After when you have done that, you place them in the bowl with your chicken. And you do the rest of your pork. Next step is to prep your mushrooms. You want to finely slice them thinly. Always be careful with your fingers. And then you want to turn them around and just finally dice them, not too small but medium pieces. But always be careful with your fingers so you don't cut yourself on your sharp knife. And you should have nice small pieces of mushroom like that. After when you have done that, you place them in a bowl and you do the rest of your mushrooms. Next step is to prep your onion. You first chop off your ends. And you flatten it, so it's more, I like to flatten it, so it's more easy to chop. Chop it down the middle, and you do your other ends. And you want to peel 2 layers of the skin. After when you have peeled your onion, you first want to finally slice it like that. You want to turn it around and you want to finally dice it. Always be careful with them fingers you don't cut yourself. should have nice little pieces of onion like that. After when you have done that, you place them in a bowl and you do your other half of onion. Next step is to prep your cabbage. You want to finely dice it. Using your sharp knife. Be careful you don't chop yourself. Just like that. I'll show you again how I did that. I firstly chopped it down the middle so you have a nice strip. Then I flattened it. Bring it all together. And you just want to finely dice it into little pieces. Always move your fingers out the way. After when you have finely diced it, you place it in the mixing bowl. And you finish off doing your cabbage. Next step is to prep your carrot. You first want to chop your ends off. And you want to peel all the way round using your peeler. Turn it after a few turns. So you're getting all the skin off, but be careful with the sharp blade. So you don't cut yourself. Keep moving it. This is what your carrot should look like after when you have peeled it. So after when you have peeled your carrot, you first chop it in half. Half again. So they should be both flat. You want to chop them again half, and then you want to finally dice them into little cubes. Just like that. I'll show you again how I did that. Chop it in half. Turn it around and finally dice. Next step is to prep your lemon. You just want to cut it in half. Always move your fingers out the way. You should have two nice pieces of lemon like that. And you place them to one side till you start cooking. Next step is to grate your ginger. So you grab your ginger and you use a grater and you start grating it. But be careful you don't cut yourself on the sharp blades. When you're nearly getting to the end, you have to be careful with your fingers so you don't cut yourself. So you bring them out a bit so they don't get catched on the sharp blades. And you give it a little tap and grab all the ginger from the back. And you place the ginger in your bowl with your onions. Next step is to prep your chillies. You first chop your ends off. Just like that. Now I'm going to finely dice it. You first cut it in the middle. If you didn't like it too hot, you can take out the seeds, but I'm going to keep the seeds in. So you just finely dice it. Like that. You do the same again with your other ones. You first chop off your end and your top of the root. You cut it in half. You keep it all together and you finally dice it, but always be careful with them fingers because you're using a sharp knife. And also when you have finished doing your chillies, be careful not to touch your eyes because your eyes may sting from the chillies. After when you have done all that, you place them in the bowl with your onions and ginger. Next step is to add your stock cube to your hot water, and you want to give it a good stir with your fork so it evaporates all the way into the water, and you want to give it a good stir so it evaporates. You just keep giving it a good stir with your fork. Next step is to switch on your hob, and you want to set it to high, and then you place your pan on your ring, and you just want that to heat up for a minute or two before you start cooking. First step, you fry your chicken and pork in your frying pan. You want to break them up with your wooden spoon. And give them a little stir. So you're breaking them apart so they don't stick to get together. And you want to cook them for a few minutes. Next step is to add in your onion, ginger and chillies to your pan, and you want to give them a good stir in with your meat. You will know when they are nearly cooked because you will be able to smell the flavours from the onion, ginger and chillies. And you just want to give them a good toss all the way round so they give flavour into the meat. Today I am doing hot and spicy soup with chicken and pork, but you can do just a vegetable hot and spicy soup, or you can do a prawn one. or just a chicken one. It's up to you. Or you can also do a special hot and spicy soup with a little bit of prawn, veg and the chicken and the pork. But it's up to what you like. And also, don't forget, you can put how much chilli in and ginger is how much heat you like it, how hotness you like it. It's add in your cabbage, and you want to give that a good stir so it adds in flavour to the pan, and you want to give it a good toss in so it can all sweat, so your cabbage can sweat down and be nice and soft. So you're frying it with all your vegetables and meat. You want to get all the way around the pan. For a few minutes so they go nice and soft and they have been given a good fry. And carrots to your pan. You don't need to add your mushrooms till last because they don't need long cooking because they've got a lot of water in. And also the same with your carrots because you're going to add in your stock and they will cook nice and softly when you place the lid on and they will steam. And you just want to give them a stir all the way in your pan. So they can get flavour. So you're giving these a toss for a few minutes before you add in your stock and all your seasonings. Next step is to add in your stock. And you want to give it a good stir. All the way round. And also the sides. And it will also pick up the little bits what will be stuck on your pan. So don't worry about any little ginger or chilli flakes getting stuck. That will give flavour. Next step is to put a teaspoon of corn flour into your mixture. See how that goes first. See, you might want to thicken it up with another teaspoon. And you want to stir that in to your pan. So you're now adding in your seasonings and your sauce. Next step is to add in your bean sprouts. And you want to give them a good stir. Bring them all the way round. Stir them all the way round. And also get from the bottom. These won't take long to cook. They will just steam when you put the lid on to simmer. So don't worry about putting them in last. Next step is adding 2 teaspoons of caster sugar. And you want to give that a good stir. We don't want to make it too sweet, but we're just balancing up the flavours. And don't forget, you can always add more. You could also add some more sugar in. It's all to do about how, if it's a bit too off for you when you had it in your lemon juice, you just add in a little bit more sugar or soy sauce. It's whatever you want to do. Next step is to squeeze your lemon juice into your pan. You place your hand over the pan so you catch all the pips, and you want to squeeze it, catch any of them pips so they don't fall in. Give it a little shake, but always be careful you catch them pips, and give it a good squeeze. Now do the same with your other half a lemon. Now you add in some dark soy sauce to your pan. And you also add in a splash of Worcestershire. And you want to give that a good stir. When you've added in your dark soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce, you stir all the way around the pan. You'll be able to smell all the lovely flavours from the dark soy sauce and the Worcestershire and the lemon and all your vegetables. This will be a bit like a broth, but when you put it on the simmer it will thicken. Finally, you want to add in some ground black pepper. And you want to give that all a good stir in, your black pepper. So you're just stirring in your seasoning of black pepper into your pan. Then when you have give it a good stir in, you will place a lid on top and let it simmer and boil. All the sauce thickens for 10 to 15 minutes. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. More videos coming soon.